The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are my own. I don't intend to force them on anyone. I'm just sharing. Feel free to express yours in the comments. My advice will always be to follow your internal guidance. We all have our past and are governed according to our purpose. Thank you for watching.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Typical Mike Tyson is uncharacteristic.
Mike Tyson!
Check yourself at all times. If you have any questions,
If he doesn't answer it.
Today, Mike Tyson, a fellow for whom everybody predicts a great future. If they can find some fights for him.
With Cooney and Carl Williams in their training camps, and he was quoted as saying not too many weeks ago that
Mike spikes in. He leads to the right hand. Down he goes. Michael Tyson just absolutely attacked him. Watch this. He bangs him right back. And you see very, very quickly. Uppercut, and Marvis is hurt. Razor is down. They continue to go.
Let me mouth him down. Give me some Vaseline.
And by Tyson.
Mike Tyson is a legend. I remember being 5 years old, and I remember my dad has always been an entrepreneur. He's always had multiple streams of income, and since I was a child, he has had this landscaping company that has afforded him a beautiful life. At any rate, his crew would come down, and they would play video games with him, the Nintendo, and we had the video game Punch-Out. And I remember just loving Mike Tyson. I remember growing up with the fight nights, right? You get the food going. You had the people come over. And I remember the men just being so into the fights. Like, their energy was in it. I remember one of my dad's brother, rest his soul, my Uncle Tim, my precious Uncle Tim, who is now gone from us. His good friend, Ed Sankey, would come over and he would be loud and stumping in the floor. And, you know, it would be getting late with them fights like it did last night. I mean, I've always been one to kind of like be sleepy at 10 o'clock. So I was like, they need to hurry the fuck up. I'm getting sleepy now. Shit, we want the main event. But the girls did a good job last night, right? They did a good job. And so at 5 years old, though, my husband thinks I'm nuts when I told him this. He really thought I was nuts, but I remember thinking that Mike Tyson was like my husband. Like, I loved Mike Tyson. Y'all can say what y'all want to say about Robin Givens and all of that. I got my feelings about that. I had my feelings about that as a young kid, and I've always been very intuitive. And I'm not saying he's perfect, right? But I'm saying that with a person like him, it would be easy to paint him as a monster. People would believe it, right? And I'm going to just leave it there. And I can't speak to Robin Givens' experience because I wasn't in her marriage. Yeah, but my point of bringing that up is you could say what you want to say about the man, but he was a force. He was a force, man. It was like definitely, he is definitely the definition or the example of how you know we are all God force expressed. We are all different pieces of God. God is within us just living out different experiences. Mike Tyson is the example of that because his presence, the way he, the energy shifted, the way he just, that ring. And you know what? Him and that ridiculous ass Don King, okay? Don King was ridiculous as fuck. And one thing about Don King, I feel like, and I was really young, but just analyzing some of the things that I saw, that hair was like the PR or marketing campaign in itself, right? It was like the clickbait. It was the thing to get you in. What the fuck is going on with this man's hair, right? And I was saying last night, he should have came out just for the hell of it, just for the nostalgia with Don King. I don't know what their relationship is right now, and I'm hoping that I'm not pushing some shit on Mike that is just not very, and I'm sure evidently he didn't think about it or think it to be beneficial to him at this time to do such, but just for the antics in my mind and for the nostalgia purposes, right? This is simply me. I just thought that would have been amazing to see that. I think I just would have fell off my chair. But anyway, my husband and I went to go see the fight last night at some friend's house. And before the fight, I just kept saying, and I know I be getting on my husband's nerves, y'all, because I've got to always get extra deep in the shit. And sometimes, sometimes people can take the fun out of it because it's like, here you go with that shit. But I was really thinking like, I don't know. I feel like this fight is going to be rigged. I feel like it's going to be rigged. I just knew something was up, right? Now, we've seen all the antics before. We've seen Mike Tyson slap Jake Paul. We see him say basically he was going to murder him. We've seen them hands going 100, 200 miles per hour in training. We've seen Mike be Mike, right? You're like, oh shit, like this man might get murdered. Yes, he is 58, he's close to 60, but he's still Mike Tyson, and the average Negro is not going to jump in the fucking ring with him. I don't care what you say. So, all right, don't be no fool. And so I was just feeling like that. And, my husband like, can we just watch this? Can we just see what's going to happen before you go all off into the deep end? Right? And it's not because he's naive or he's not paying attention. Let's just experience it. Let's not take the fun out of it type of thing. And so I'm watching it. The first fight I watched, all the fights I watched leading up to him, I said, something's not right. The scores are indicating, and I'm watching it, the opposite person that won should won. Or they're tying motherfuckers, or with the guy. The one guy won over the other guy, and it's like the other guy should have won. Then with the girls, were they tied? No, the one, I'm sorry. The two guys, right, they were tied. Ain't no damn tie. That one guy won. We were looking, you showed us the scores. Then you had the ladies, right? They let the lady from Ireland win, right? But we looking at the scores, the other lady. So they were already showing you that this fight is rigged. They're already showing you that they have the people that they want to win. I mean, it's in plain sight. If you're paying attention, it's in plain sight, right? But for the effect of it all, I mean, I just was getting ready, and I was like, am I losing my damn mind? Now, mind you, on the way, my anxiety is getting high. I'm feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to fall out my chair because they just can't do this. This is Mike Tyson. Like, what are we talking about? He's a savage, okay? He's a savage in that ring. I know they're not going to do this corny bullshit, right? Because even when he fought Roy Jones some years ago, they were saying yesterday was in the pandemic. So much happened. It's like, that was what that was? Okay, it was in the pandemic. I was underwhelmed with that fight, too. I believe that ended in the tide. I didn't understand that. I was like, what's going on? Where is the savage at? So I believe Tyson is he understands his legacy, right? He understands who he is. He understands he's older. He understands he doesn't have nothing to prove. So I think at this point, he's just going with getting the money, right? Because you already know what it is. And, and he knows that. Even when somebody was interviewing him and said, yeah, he was taking up for Trump and his life for Trump, and what are you going to do about it? He know ain't nobody fucking with him. He already know that, So he really doesn't have anything to prove, but still just me being that Mike Tyson fan, growing up with that. I loved boxing because of Mike Tyson. I loved it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really watch boxing outside. I've watched other matches, yes, not really. But when I was growing up, Tyson was the guy. It was like, just like I'm not a fan of basketball. But one thing's for sure, when the Chicago Bulls had Rodman, Pippen, and Michael Jordan together, I was watching it. That was outstanding. So it's just, I'm getting chills as I talk about it, because it's just certain things in time that we have witnessed. It cannot be duplicated. It cannot be replicated or duplicated. It is and was what it was. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in here. The anxiety is just going insane because I'm like, they cannot do this to my man Mike. You know what I'm saying? But I also have to understand that this is just me being selfish and what I want. But Mike understands what it is, and Jake Paul understands what it is, and they had the agreement. They know what they were doing, you know, and it was a big deal for Netflix, even though that motherfucker was buffering, right? It was funny because my husband and his friends were talking about the HVAC standpoint because there are gurus in the HVAC. My husband is a beast in the Metro Detroit area. Okay, holla at me if you need some heating and cooling work. He has a company. He's not just that motherfucker in the hood that stay up under your hood and doing your brakes in the driveway type of thing. I'm just giving an example metaphorically. He is that deal, okay? But anyway, they're talking about how them servers was probably getting overheated, how the HVAC guys been working overtime all day. You know, they going through that, and I'm cracking up. The commentary that was going on last night in the room, man, I should have went live, but it was just a lot going on. It was just a lot of energy. So anyway, we get to the fight. We get to the Tyson fight. We see Jake Paul come out with his antics. I said, he's got all this going on. It's cool, right? It's cool. Like, I'm not hating. It's just a lot. It's like, it was like Apollo and Rocky in reverse, right? When Apollo came out, Rocky was like, it's a bit much for my taste, but okay. You know, Apollo was extra, right? We went on living in America. Oh, that shit got you pumped. I'm going to tell you, they did a good job with that. The energy was right with that movie. I'm like, okay, you almost took it serious like it was a real fight. But no, it was like that in reverse. And a lot of times, you know, people with the antics, except for some of us Leos, that's just who we are. We're over the top quite naturally. But, you know, a lot of times antics are very synonymous or a clear indicator of overcompensation, right? But it's okay. I'm not saying that's what Jake Paul, where he was coming from. I like the way he pulled up, no hate, all love. It's all good. I said, now watch Tyson come out. He ain't going to have all that extra shit, and he going to come by himself. Did he not come by himself? To the point where I said, he should have had Don King with him, right? He should have had Don King. So he came out by himself. And he's coming out to his music or whatever. And let's talk about Jake Paul's music with Phil Collins. I did like that. Because that's a jam. That's a jam. If you know, you know, that's a jam. That's a classic. So I like that. Okay, Jake Paul. And I like how Mike Tyson came out. Like it's like Mike Tyson came out with, you know, what's understood don't need to be said. I'm Iron Mike. I don't need no antics, baby. When I walk in a room, I command it. I'm a king. I am the Dawn. I am the God in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's how he walked out. And so when he got in the ring, baby, I was like, I told him in the room, I said, Lord, if I fall on the floor, please don't pick me up. If I fall the fuck out, just don't the anxiety was high, and I'm just, oh my God, I'm acting a fool. And again, you might not have felt like I do, but that's what makes us great. We all are entitled to our shenanigans, okay? And my shenanigans was shenanigan, okay? My energy receptors was going everywhere. I was just so caught up and what I know things to be and how I wanted it to be, and just, it's crazy. And that antic, though, I guess that was somebody said that that was his son was the reporter. I'm not sure. I'm not stating this as fact. I'm just saying I didn't research it. I'm going to be very clear and transparent about that. But he kissed him after the interview, and then his booty cheeks was out. I'm like, come on, Mike is acting a fool. But great promotion, right? It's getting people to stay tuned in. It's getting the attention. So he's smart. He knows what he's doing. And so, but back there in the ring, and they're doing the fight, and Mike is not being Mike. He's holding himself back. He's stemming. He's biting his glove like he's resisting. He's trying to keep himself at bay. Jake Paul is doing whatever he's doing. And it's just, it was stressful to watch for me because, one, I read the rules. So we knew he had to last at least 4 rounds. When Tyson got up back in the day, baby, if we didn't make it around, okay, a lot of times. So, okay, he's got to do 4 rounds. Okay, so we already know some shit is in the game. Okay, and so this is already going against the Mike Tyson legacy and the norm of Mike Tyson. Okay, so we already know we in for shenanigans, and we've been watching the previous fights. We have read the room. We know what the fuck is up. And I'm just watching him. I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, just rip his fucking head off. No shade to you, Jake Paul. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. But this is just me being a menace while watching Mike Tyson. It's just no disrespect, all love and reverence. It's just, rip his fucking head off. What are you doing? I said, body's here. Fuck it. Body. You know, I'm acting a fucking fool. I'm going to be honest. I'm acting a fool. I'm like a rabid dog. I'm like a rabid fox. You know what I'm saying? And it's really ridiculous, but that's how it is. That's how we grew up, yelling at the screen, acting a motherfucking fool. I wasn't going to step up the ground because it wasn't my house, so I had to have some kind of couth. But I was doing all of that. And it was just hard, you know, and it ended. And, of course, Jake Paul won, which we already knew. We all knew how it was going to go. And so I left feeling the type of way. I was like, let's go. Let's get. I mean, as soon as they stood side by side, they started talking. I was like, let's get the fuck out of here. I'm over it. And I left feeling the type of way. I left hurt. I don't even know why I should be hurt, but I did. I left hurt. And yeah, and that's just how I feel about it. So please let me know how you felt about this fight. Please leave it in the comments. Please let me know if you agree with me. Please just let me know. Now, right after this, we're going to get into the tarot portion, my reading of the fights. And so also let me know how that resonates. Thank you so much for tapping in. Share this with your friends, okay? I love you guys. And until next time. Now, stay tuned for this damn reading, damn it. All right. Love y'all. Hey, friends. Help me practice uncovering and solving mysteries by filling out the form on the homepage of my website at rockyroadtv.com. Let's do this. Thanks for your support.
Hey friend, you can now join my Patreon for free. The link is provided below.
I am Raquel, and I'm going to do a reading on this because after watching that fight, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I was really distraught. You may disagree with me, and that's okay. We are different, and we are entitled to our opinions, right? That's what makes me different than you. That's what makes the world go round, right? Different viewpoints, different opinions. We all have our own universe within inside of us. So it's cool. But mainly my thing was that everything is just so staged now. And it really makes you wonder what's real. Is it a big deal overall? No. I mean, because I can always take the lesson from that is not to take life so seriously, right? That life really is a stage and we are in control of our life to a big degree of how we co-create with Creator. And so that can be encouraging in itself. But just looking at it from a very surface level, growing up in a Mike Tyson age, I had Punch Out as a child. You know, those things, it's just a different ball game. So let's get into these cards. Okay, so first we have Jake Paul's cards, right? So at this point of his life, he's a businessman in a way. I mean, he's known for YouTube streaming. He has videos out there where he was doing the splits and stuff like that. So he's one of the kinds that will take and look at everything. You have 7 at the top of this card, right? 7 offers reflection and assessment, okay? So he's at the point where he's really looking at his life, looking at the different opportunities that are presented before him. Like, this is something for he to do. This is his occupation, you know, taking something and making it grandiose and getting a bag from it, right? And he knows, again, he has reflected with a high honor card that Mike Tyson is one who is highly revered, right? We're talking about Iron Mike. We're talking about, you know how they call John Wick the boogeyman? We are talking about a man that, for all intents and purposes, is like a god, right? And we are all gods within our right, right? We are an extension of Creator Source, yes, but the way that Mike Tyson is reverenced, it's a big deal. So he's looking at that, right? And he knows by putting himself in the same ring, regardless of the fact that Mike Tyson is almost 60 years old. That is a lot to be said to get them in the same room together, right? As you seen last night, it garnered a major crowd. The crowd was thick in there. It wasn't even anybody on the streets when I was driving. This was a big deal. This was historical in a lot of ways. This is going to be something that will go down in the history books, memory, or whatever. People will remember this, okay? And he understands that. So he knows getting in the ring with Mike Tyson is a big deal. And it's going to garner him a lot of attention and money, right? And again, now we have the unexpected income card with 9 at the top. So 9 represents independence and solitude amongst other things. So from this, it's going to be some things that come out of this. There's going to be some more financial opportunities that are going to present itself that he wasn't even contemplating on because he chose to make this move. However, we have the main female, okay? He knows that he is in reverse in this sense. So he's not the main character of this. He knows that, but it doesn't matter. Being in the room with Mike Tyson is a big deal, right? He understands, number 2 at the top, he understands the duality of it, right? He understands that he would benefit from this, and that he did. So now let's look at Mike Tyson's cards, right? Okay, so he's got the courtship card in reverse, right? Mike Tyson, security and stability, he has been there, right? That's not necessarily a focus because Mike has been larger than life, right? So this is not really a big deal to him. I mean, he stands to make money. His legacy is there. Despite whatever, you can't take away Iron Mike, right? And he knows that. He understands that. Mike just simply being who he is, anything he puts his energy into is going to be successful. So stability and security is not an issue for him because he can always generate that, right? So that's in the reverse. We have Journey. 10 with a completion. Again, his career is what it is, right? He's on to other things. He's on to a deeper level in life, and mainly spiritually, I believe. Hot Boxing was a very insightful podcast that he had. You could tell that Mike has been through a lot. His life has been a journey, right? And he has learned a lot. He's evolved a lot. And he's really a profound individual. When you get past the persona of the bigger in life, the monster, the savage of the ring, you will understand that he really is a deep brother. He has a lot to offer. Even in his stories, he's funny, the way he tells things. So his life has been a journey, and he's on to other things, okay? With the 10, again, it's a completion. He has done a lot. He is complete. His legacy is a completion, okay? And number 2, he is the main character in this, okay? Again, because he's Iron Mike. And he knows this. Mike has nothing to prove, okay? Following, he is a mature person. He's older. He's getting older now. His mind is on different things. So just being an opportunity to just this is more like a nostalgia for him. You could tell, though, he was trying to hold himself back. He was biting his glove a lot. It seemed like he was stimming. He was holding himself back. This was definitely, from what I can tell and pick up. It's funny, before I even watched the fight, right? I was looking at this and I was saying, I feel like this is stage. I kept saying this to my husband, like, I'm picking up that this is stage. I'm picking up that Jake Paul is going to win this fight. They're going to do this, right? This was a business decision. This was like a win for Jake Paul, but a win-win for Mike, because he is Mike. You can't take that away from him. I mean, he's getting money. He's getting paid. He's getting a bag from this. Like I said, he is the main character. It's nothing that he needs to prove. But you could tell, because of who he is, and how his legacy has been and just how he moves in the ring, he was definitely holding himself back. I don't give a damn if you're saying he's 58. He's Mike Tyson. And if you got some shit to say, I tell you, jump your punk ass in the ring with him and see how you do, okay? So you could see his head was in a different space. I wouldn't say he was in a negative space, but I believe he was just trying to stay in the mindset like, this is just what it is. I'm just here to get this bag. You know, Mike, you can't let the monster out. He did his job when it came to the promo and stuff like that, hyping it up with slapping Jake Paul and all of this stuff. And we've been anticipating this. So that's just what it really is on his end. Now let's get to the clarifying of this. What does this all mean? So we've got movement, choices, and decisions. So again, Jake Paul is trying to move, right? He's looking at all his options. He looks like when you see the rings in here, you see that he knows he can make money from this, right? He knows, the coins. He knows he can make money from this. He sees the partnerships that he can get from this. He sees the growth that he can get from this. So that's how Jake Paul is looking at this. Mike Tyson is big in spiritual strength. He shows that, okay? He's big in that. So that's his card. You got the solar plexus chakra. Mike Tyson already knows he can. Jake Paul knows that he can, as far as with his businesses and the ways that he's able to finagle opportunities in optics. Okay, so that's that. But Mike Tyson is spiritually is evolving and going on to other things. Okay, he's independent. He's good with being a standalone person. He's strong with that because of his spiritual foundation, and he has a very strong mind because of his journey that has led him through. So, this is just something to do. Again, the solar plexus, I can, and I explained that. So, triumphant success, this applies both to Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is going to be successful no matter what. He's the GOAT, and anything he touches from then on, he can go on and do other projects. It will be successful for him. And this was a success for Jake Paul all the way around, with further exposure and more opportunities coming. But Mike Tyson is moving on. He's moving on to other things, okay? He's moving on to other things. 6, with new normal in the community. He's got a new normal that he's walking into. He's at a different stage of his life. He's an older man. And I believe spiritually Mike Tyson has his job to do. And he has had a lot with the impact on the world. Well, a lot of people. He has transformed people. He has been a light in the darkness in the various of ways to those he has affected and to those he has resonated with. So we've got the Hangman here. Mike Tyson is just really, he's chilling, right? He's chilling. He's good. He's good. Opportunities come up, he can take them, but he's not really worried, okay? Because he understands that he is a very creative person when it comes to the mind. His spirituality stems his creativity, and he's just a different type of being altogether. We all are, right? We all have our magnificence about us, right? We all have our light about us, but he's a different type of breed, and he understands that. He understands with the Sun card. He's the main character. What can I say? I mean, he has shined upon the world in so many ways. He's made the impact. So, and then we've got like the family card, right? We've got here, we say the marriage card a lot of times, but the 10 of Cups, right? So it's just like the ultimate success. It's like the ultimate happiness. And both of them in very ways are in this way. Mike with his achievements, Mike with just being mentally and spiritually secure in a lot of ways. You notice even when he talks in different interviews, he doesn't care. He states his opinion because he's not worried about what people think. He's had it all. He's seen it all. He is complete. And Jake Paul is feeling a level of completion, right? And again, with the marriage, he will be coming into different opportunities and unions on his part that will benefit him, okay, in his growth, in his journey, in his pockets. So that's the overall clarity of this. So what can be learned from this whole thing? Man, we've got the 7 of Wands with the stand your ground. So whatever options you have and that you choose, man, stand in it, right? When it comes to your passions, charge forward. We got the passion card with the Knight of Wands. Charge forward, firmly standing your ground and what you want to do, because the opportunities are endless. We're talking about a YouTuber that got in the room with Iron Mike, right? So he's in his passion. He's standing his ground on what he believes. He has manifested this greatness into his life, whether we agree with it or not. So that is a message in itself, right? So if you got a passion, you got something that you believe on, you're prepared in it, it's coming from the heart, stand on that, because it will manifest into something great. If you believe it, you can perceive it, and you put the energy behind it. This Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight is definitely a testament to that. So that is my synopsis and my reading on this. I hope that brings people clarity or comfort, or both. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're interested in booking a reading with me, you can refer to my website, rockyroadtv.com. That's RACQI roadtv.com, RACQIROADTV.com. Make sure that you subscribe to my Patreon for free to keep up with me. I also have an evidential mediumship and psychic skills practice abilities class. So you can sign up for that if that's your thing, if you're interested. Very good energy, very supportive. This, I can't even begin to explain this group in words. You would have to hear from the people that attended, but it's great. And if that's something you're into, this is what you want to join, right? We don't even have any bad energy in there. They can't even stay in the room. All right. Thank you so much for tapping in, and until next time.